Fed just cut the party short with a more hawkish stance in their analysis than what people were expecting, especially after this morning's numbers. So everybody got excited about the numbers this morning, but this is what we're hearing from CNBC. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday kept its key interest rate unchanged. That is not a surprise. That's exactly what was expected, and signaled that just one cut is expected before the end of the year. With markets hoping for a more accommodative central bank, Federal Open Marketing Committee policymakers following their two-day meeting took 2 rate reductions off the table from 3 that was indicated as early as March. The committee also signaled it believes the long-run interest rate is higher than previously indicated. New forecasts released after the week's 2-day meeting indicate only slight optimism that inflation remains on track to head back to its 2% goal, allowing for some policy loosening later this year. The quote is, "Inflation has eased over the past year, but remains elevated." So in the only substantive change, the new statement followed with, "In recent months, there has been modest further progress toward the committee's 2% inflation objective." The previous language has said there's been a lack of further progress. So modest progress as opposed to a lack of further progress. The committee, in its closely watched dot plot of individual participants' rate expectations, did indicate a more aggressive cutting path next year in 2025, with 4 reductions totaling a full percentage point anticipated. This is one up from what had been 3. But for the period through 2025, the committee now sees 5 total cuts equaling 1.25 percentage points, which is down from 6 in March. If the projection holds, it would leave the federal funds rate benchmark at 4.1 by the end of next year. Another significant development occurred with the projection for the long-run rate of interest, essentially a level that neither boosts nor restricts growth. That moved up to 2.8 from 2.6%, a nod that the higher for longer narrative is gaining traction among Fed officials. In a further indication of hawkish bent, the dot plot showed 4 officials in favor of no cuts this year, up from 2 previously. Elsewhere in the FOMC's summary of economic projections, participants raised their 2024 outlook on inflation to 2.6 or 2.8 when excluding food and energy, the core rate. Both inflation projections were 0.2% higher than they were in March. The Fed's preferred inflation gauge is the Commerce Department's Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, which showed readings of 2.7 and 2.8 for April. So the decision and informal forecast from the 19 meeting participants came during a volatile year for markets, according to CNBC, and hopes that the Fed would start easing going away. The federal funds rate. Okay, so what is, I'm going to just read through here and see if there's anything else there. It was well above the economic data softened. Okay, so they're just giving some of the backup behind this. I don't have a lot of time because I got to get on and listen to the Fed's upcoming, what Chairman Powell has to say. I will report on that immediately after it's done. It'll probably take me about 20 minutes to produce it. So, you can figure about a half an hour after he's done speaking, you'll be able to see what I have to say about his conversation. The Dow is way down. It really did not take this news well, but it had been trending down all day and is now down to just about unchanged at $4, or 4 points up, 3 points up now. NASDAQ not affected by this news at all, still setting at plus 296. The S&P up 52 right now, and again, barely touched with this news. Tesla, not touched either, is now $8.50 higher than it started the day. Apple is up $10.45, which is pretty amazing. And the NVIDIA is up a little. Microsoft is up a lot. So anyway, the news basically is now confirming what I've been saying for months and months and months. So please give me a little check mark next to this one. I've been saying no rate reductions this year. I've been saying no real improvements in inflation this year. And I've been saying that the chances are that if there was one cut, it would be very late in the year, November, December. Now that seems to be where the Fed is also coming out. So once in a while, remember the broken clock is right twice a day. So I will be back in an hour or so to give you my analysis of what the chairman said in the press conference that will be held shortly. So until then, of course, it's been good talking to you.